Hi folks, we're going to be doing a brief overview of chapter 12 for my geometry class. And so what I've chosen to go over from chapter 12 for geometry is anything that is going to be on the SAT. And so I've given you at the start here a reference sheet, and you can find these guided notes on our Google Classroom. If you are looking at this at a different time, you can just take notes, but I have chosen to have us give the notes so I can do diagrams without having to draw them out. But to get on with the lesson here, this is the exact reference sheet that you will be given at the SAT. And so I have, for both the calculator and the no calculator section, it can be easy to look past it. So familiarize yourself with the formulas now to avoid wasting time on test day. This is going to be a lot of what we're going to be learning today, and especially the volume formulas, along with surface area and lateral area. So the 5 shapes that we're going to be looking at for 3D shapes are going to be prisms, cylinders, spheres, cones, and pyramids. So looking at surface area and lateral area, think of it as a room. If you have a square room, the lateral area is the area of the walls. If you have a room with walls, you also have a ceiling and a floor, and so that would be the area of the 2 bases. Your sheet actually will have another S here. When I printed out my sheet, I forgot about that. So a couple of the things that we're going to be looking at with the formulas, because a lot of this is going to be plug and chug, are going to be what the letters and variables stand for. A big B, this is going to stand for area of the base. So whatever shape the base is, the big B stands for area of the base. The big P stands for perimeter of the base. All right, we're going to have, we know that R stands for radius, H stands for height, and this is almost always referring to the height of the 3D figure. And lastly, cursive L, this is going to stand for slant height. Slant height is, say, take a cone right here. The slant height is the hypotenuse right there. That would be the slant height. Or the slant height on a pyramid, that would be the slant height. So that's a couple of the variables that are going to be in all of these formulas right here. All right, so surface area for a prism. SA stands for surface area. Surface area is going to equal 2 times the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. All right, volume of a prism. V is going to stand for volume. It's going to be the area of the base multiplied by the height. All right, for a cylinder, surface area is going to be 2 pi r squared, the area of the bases, plus 2 pi r h, and that's the lateral area of a cylinder. Volume of a cylinder is going to be pi r squared multiplied by the height. All right, moving on to spheres. Surface area of a sphere, and there really is only surface area of a sphere. There is no lateral area. 4 multiplied by pi r squared. Volume of a sphere, 4 pi r cubed. That is a 3 right there. And the whole thing is divided by 3. This is another formula you'll see up here as well. This one is 4/3 times pi r cubed. Same thing as 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. All right, for a cone, surface area is going to be equal to pi r squared, area of the base, plus pi times the radius times the slant height. All right, and then volume of a cone is going to equal pi times r squared times the height, all divided by 3. Lastly, for our pyramid, surface area for a pyramid is going to equal the area of a base plus perimeter of the base multiplied by the slant height divided by 2. All right. Volume is going to equal area of the base multiplied by the height divided by 3. So here you go for a, you can screenshot this right here for all of your formulas. Everything that we're going to be looking at for our examples are going to be based off of these formulas. So coming over to our examples then, we need to first identify what it is that we know. We need to find lateral area, surface area, and volume for every single one of these shapes right here. And for you guys, this is going to be part of your skill checks. You're going to be finding one of these things for every one. So for prism, what do we know here? Well, we see several things here, and we're going to identify what we know. So we want to know the area of the base. Well, the area of the base is a triangle. Area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. So 8 times 6 is 48, divided by 2 is 24. All right, and I'm not even using units right here. I'll put the units in our final answer. The perimeter of the base, we have actually, it's given to us over here that this is 10. Otherwise, we could find that by Pythagorean theorem. 8 plus 6 plus 10 is also happens to be 24. And the height of the prism, if you were to stand this up, the height of the prism is 9. All right, using all of those. And again, using these formulas right here. So during your skill checks, you're going to need to have this formula sheet out or written out somewhere. So lateral area of a prism is going to be the perimeter, 24, multiplied by 9. And that is going to get you 216 meters squared. Surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times 24, 2 times the base, which is going to be equal to 240 meters squared. All right, lastly, our volume. And again, I am just plugging and chugging here. Our volume is going to be equal to the area of the base, 24, multiplied by the height, 9. In this example, it just so happens to be the same as the lateral area, but volume is meters cubed. And again, I'm finding all of these by the plug and chug method, I call it. Plug and chug method, just meaning plugging in all of the numbers that we find here into the formulas that we have over here. Let's move on to cylinder. So a cylinder here, we're going to notice a couple things. It's given us that the diameter is 12 inches. Well, diameter is not used for cylinder, but radius is. And so a radius is diameter divided by 2. Our radius is 6. Second thing we need is the height of the cylinder. And our height is 10. Everything else is given to us, or really that's all we need, and we don't need anything else. So lateral area of a cylinder is 2 times pi times r times h. So 2 times pi times 6 times 10. Again, I've already done this in a calculator for us, and so it's 376.99 inches squared. I'm going to add to the lateral area, the area of the bases. So I add 376.99 plus 2 times pi times 6 squared, which is 36, and I get to 603.19 inches squared. My volume now, I'm going to be adding in pi times 6 squared times 10. Again, using the formula from over here, and I'm going to get 1,130.97 inches cubed. All right, let's move on to sphere. So with a sphere, again, we're only finding surface area and volume. It's 4 times pi times r squared. And so our radius here is 3 meters. And that's the only variable we need. Well, 4 times pi times 3 squared is 9. And that is going to be equal to 113.1 meters squared. All right. Let's check our volume now. Volume is going to be equal to 4 times pi times 3 cubed, which is 27, and then the whole thing divided by 3. And actually, in this case, it does not always happen like this. It actually is the same. It is 113.1 meters cubed. Sorry, I almost put squared. You guys can see how that can maybe get a little bit confusing. Volume is cubed. Surface area is area, so it's squared. All right. Next, we're going to go to cone. So our cone formulas, again, we're going to be using R for radius, L for slant height, and H for height. So let's identify what we need here. Well, our radius is 5.7 centimeters. So you'll notice I kind of had to write that in. My printer's not as good here. I had to draw that one in. Not as good here as it is at school. So our radius is 5.7. We need to do a little bit of work to find our slant height. So we need to do 12 squared plus 5.7 squared. It's going to equal slant height squared. And finding our slant height is going to be equal to 13.28 centimeters. All right, next our height. When you look at a cone, the height is from the center down. So our height is 12. All right, so now lateral area for a cone, we are going to do pi times radius, so 5.7, times slant height, 13.28. And that is going to get us to 237.8 centimeters squared. We're going to add lateral area plus the area of the bases, which is pi times 5.7 squared. And that is going to get us to 339.88 centimeters squared. All right, volume of a cone is going to be pi times 5.7 squared times 12, and all of that divided by 3. And that is going to get us to 408.3 centimeters cubed. All right, our last one is going to be a pyramid here. And so we need to look at a couple of things here. For a pyramid, we're going to need area of the base. So depending on what the base is, we'll need to know that. Perimeter, slant height, and then height. So area of the base is going to be a square in this case, 6 times 6, which is 36. So our area of the base is 36. Our perimeter is then 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, or 6 times 4. And so our perimeter is 24 inches. Now our slant height is not given to us. We need to draw in half of the base, which is half of 6. So 3. And then we need to draw in our slant height. This is Pythagorean theorem. So again, we're going to need to do 8 squared plus 3 squared equals slant height squared. Solving for our slant height is going to be equal to 8.54 approximately. And then finally, again, just like as in a cone, our height is from the top of the pyramid all the way to the bottom, and that height is 8 inches. Now we have all 4 of our variables that we need, so we can actually find our lateral area, which our lateral area of a pyramid is perimeter, so 24, multiplied by the slant height, 8.54, and divided by 2, and we get a lateral area of 102.48 inches squared. We're adding that, the area of the one base, which is 36, so we get 138.48 inches squared. And our last item we are finding today is our volume of the pyramid, which is going to be equal to the area of the base, 36, multiplied by the height, which is 8, and all of that divided by 3. And you're going to get 96 inches cubed. So I will kind of zoom out here so you can see everything. There will also be this posted on the Google Classroom, and there are your formulas again. Again, I would recommend having this with you when you do your skill check. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.